Bat Family. Welcome back to Holy BatCast, brought to you by Real Fans for Real Movies. Make sure you visit our website, holybatcast.com, or find us all over social media on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. Search for Holy BatCast, you will find us. If you love the show, you want to help support us, you can do that on Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/holybatcast, and a big old thank you to all our patrons. You guys are amazing. You're the best of the best. We love you, so thank you for that. We are part of the Real Fans Podcast Network, so if you're looking for other shows to enjoy, you can check those out at rf4rm.com. As always, I'm your Bat host, Andy DiGenova. You can follow me on Twitter or on Instagram. It's just my name, Andy DiGenova. So it is, oh God, what is it? It is 11:30 p.m. on Tuesday, March 1st, and we just got back from the movies. We just got back from seeing the fan screening, I guess is what they're calling it, in IMAX of The Batman. So we wanted to share our initial thoughts and reactions, spoiler-free. So if you haven't seen it yet, if you didn't make it out to the fan screening, we're going to keep it spoiler-free. But for everybody who did make it, which honestly I feel like is most of you, again, I feel like almost everybody went tonight, you guys don't even care. But we'll keep it spoiler-free, just the initial reactions of the film before we then will later, of course, in a few days, once the movie is really out, for real, officially, then we'll do the full-on deep dive, review, everything. So joining me for that, staying up nice and late for me, is my good pal Jamie Drewley. Hey Jamie, good evening. Happy Batman Day.
Good evening, almost good morning. Happy Batman Day to you as well.
And good, thanks for staying up. We did try to get Brendan on, but there is a lot going on where he's living in Brisbane with flooding. So number one, I'm glad that Brendan and Jess and Henry are safe. They are safe. They're doing okay, but they're staying with some friends. So things are a little nuts over there, and we just couldn't make the schedules line up because aside from the normal issues of our time zones, there's also that aspect. So Brendan promised he would record us a little reaction that we'll drop in at the end of the episode. But the fun thing is we haven't listened to it yet. We haven't heard it yet because it hasn't come through yet. That's how in the moment we are. So I have no idea what Brendan's going to say. So that will be interesting. We will probably hear it when you guys hear it.
This is a veritable surprise package for everybody because none of us knows what any of the other ones think.
No idea.
Andy and I have had zero discussion about it. Brendan was asking, and I refused to give him any of my thoughts about it. So here we are.
It's just all surprises. And that's why I didn't even let us chat very much before I hit record because inevitably it can happen. So I was like, no, let's just go. We'll come in fresh. Before we get to our thoughts of the Batman, though, I want to give a shout out, as always, to our sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped.com for all of your male trimming and grooming needs. Go to manscaped.com. Use our code BATSCAPED. Their trimmers are wonderful. They're sleek. They're sexy. And they're so easy to use. Their deodorants, their lotions, their boxers are super soft and comfy. All their products are really awesome. I use them daily. Again, I know I've told you that in the past. I'm telling you again, I do use them daily. They're awesome. I have paid for them in the past. So if you're looking for trimming supplies for you, I know that you will appreciate it. I know your partner will appreciate it, or your partners, whatever. Check it out. But if you do want to go to Manscaped, please use the promo code BATSCAPED, BATSCAPED, because you get 20% off and free shipping. So go to manscaped.com, use BATSCAPED, please, and thank you. But now, let's talk real quick about our experience seeing the Batman this evening at these early fan screenings in IMAX. The first thing I will say is it was on an IMAX screen, but I feel like it never actually went into full IMAX, did it?
I don't know. We don't have a real IMAX here anyway. We have one of the up-converted regular theaters that they turned into an IMAX, which just means that they bent the screen and turned up the bass on the speakers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it did. You remember when we saw the Dark Knight trilogy, how it would go into IMAX for specific scenes? This did not do that. This remained consistent the whole time, as far as I could tell. But I got a free comic book. Did you get a free comic book?
Yep.
So it was the Long Halloween special, but with a special cover.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's good. I'm glad you got that too. Me and Catherine, it was our first date night post baby. And so
happy 1 week birthday.
Yeah. Yeah, little Harley is a week old. So for anybody who doesn't follow me on social media, my daughter was born. Harlan Ruth DeGenova, Harley for short. Thought you guys would appreciate that. But yeah, we left Harley with her grandma and we were able to go to dinner and a movie. So thanks to grandma for doing that. And then it was nice for us to be able to go. And we went with our pal Hunter and his lovely lady, Raina. We had a great time. But okay, so what was it? We got the comic book, IMAX. That wasn't really an IMAX. Fan screening. Yes. So
how was your crowd? You got a full house for your crowd?
It was a full house. Yeah. Full house.
I think just a couple seats in the front were empty in mine, but other than that, it was like sardines in that piece.
Yeah, it was a full house, and a lot of folks wearing Batman paraphernalia. I wore Batman from head to toe, but I realized I didn't own any The Batman merchandise. And I was like, oh, I guess I could have planned ahead and bought a shirt, but I didn't. So I just had to go with some of the old standbys, but I'm sure Robert Pattinson forgives me wherever he is. If he happened to catch a glimpse of me going in wearing just the classic Batman shirt, I hope he didn't take it too hard.
I showed up in a Holy BatCast shirt because shameless self-promotion is what I'm all about.
Good for you. I almost did it. I was actually weighing my options, and I was like, which one? I went with the the fake muscle costume shirt. That's the gray and the blue with the yellow oval. That's what I ended up going with.
Yeah. Right on.
But I mean, also Batman socks, Batman hat, Batman face mask. Commit all in.
I just did the T-shirt. I wasn't that dedicated.
That's okay. Well, I mean, not that you need to know Batman undies, of course.
Well, that goes without saying. I mean, that's a daily thing, right?
Yeah, not Manscaped Batman undies though. If Manscaped made them, I would certainly buy them, but I had to use the others. And this is a true story. Sorry, guys, we are going to get to our reactions. True story today. I was all dressed out in my Batman garb, ready to go. We were going to head out around 5 p.m. so we had time for dinner before the movie. And about 4 p.m., I'm feeding Harley. And the first time she decides to projectile vomit since she was born. The first time today, 4 p.m., while I'm in my Batman outfit, she gets it all over me.
Girl.
All over the Batman shirt, all over the jeans. I was like, oh, are you? Of course. And she's been very good about just a little spit up, little regular baby spit up. Oh no, this was the one time where it was Niagara Falls. So I had to ditch the original Batman outfit and go with the one I ended up with.
The power of Christ compels her. What do you?
Oh my God. I was like, whoa, come on, girl, come on. But it's okay. Worth it. Anyway, so like you said, we messaged a little bit, mostly just trying to figure out if we could make this work, but we have not shared our reactions, our responses. I did chat through it with Catherine and Hunter and Raina after the movie. We all chatted a little bit, as you do, which is why I just got home recently. But yeah, spoiler free, our reactions now that we have seen the Batman. I don't know. Do you want to go first, Jamie? You want me to go first? How do you feel? I don't mind you going first.
Your call. I'll go first.
Go first. Go for it.
So everybody knows I have my concerns, my dislikes, things that I've seen leading up to this. I didn't have a big level of hyper excitement or anything else, but it's a Batman movie. Of course, I'm going to be there opening night. The only two Batman movies I have not been in attendance opening night for were 66 and Begins. So, I just felt compelled to do it. So I went, and I got to tell you, I was picking crow out of my teeth for a very long time. But at some point, I ran out of crow to pick out of my teeth. So I like the movie. I didn't love the movie. I think it's too long. I think there's parts of it that just didn't even need to be there. And I think some choices were made that just simply were unnecessary. And this is probably really going to make me popular. I think it's easily 45 minutes too long.
Okay. Anything? Continue? Nothing?
I mean, it's hard for me to get into too many details, but I will say I was really looking forward to see Colin Farrell as Penguin, and he did not disappoint. I have to mull it over some more, but he may well have been my favorite part of the film. I thought all of the performances were really good. Even some of the choices made with characters and story arc and whatever that I was not thrilled with, I think the performances across the board were excellent, and I have nothing to gripe about in that department at all.
All right. Okay. Where do I start? Where to start? Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll just jump right into it. I'm sorry. I think I'm not far off from where you are. There's a lot to like about this movie. There really is. I agree with you. The cast across the board is exceptional. Every single cast member is doing great work, from the huge roles to the smaller roles and everyone in between. Everyone is bringing their A game, and I think they're all great. And a lot of the characterizations, and I like a lot of the character interactions, I think were also really fantastic. I like the story. I like how Batman focused it is. I liked, and I don't think this is spoilery. I like that it is unabashedly a detective movie, a noir detective movie with Batman at the center of it. I like that a lot. I love the score. I'm not surprised I love the score because I've pretty much loved everything I had heard of it up until now, but I loved the score in the movie. I'm glad I can finally now listen to it. I think the score is great. But as I'm saying these things that I really liked about the movie, you all hear a but coming on. There's a lot I don't like.
We like big butts.
Yeah.
We cannot lie.
Yeah. There's a lot that didn't work for me. And so for me, it's very much a mixed bag. I wanted to love it. I like it. I don't hate it. I think it's pretty good. But there's a lot that didn't work for me. And, a lot of it will be spoilery. And so we'll talk about it when the time comes. But I walked out going, oh yeah, that was pretty good. But I can tell you, and I think that we're probably on the same page here, is when it started, I was like, oh, holy shit, they're nailing this. This is, oh God, they did it. They freaking did it. And
I was legitimately concerned for the Dark Knight's position in my favorite films list for about an hour.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that's how much I love that portion of the film.
Okay, good. I mean, I don't think it lasted a full hour for me, but I think for the first, I would say half an hour, I was like, oh shit. Oh my God, they did it. This is amazing. And then there was a specific scene that happened where I kind of went, oh, okay, it's fine. It's fine. It's just one scene. It's okay. What are you going to
do? Yep. We saw the same movie. All right.
And then I was into it again. And then there was another scene like that where I went, okay. It's fine. It's fine. And then there were just too many occasions like that where the air started coming out of the balloon for me. And so I was never bored. I enjoyed it. I was interested to see where it was going. And I think what I liked about it is that I didn't know where it was going. Like I was like, oh, okay. I'm interested to see where they take this. And there were some cool story decisions that were made. But at the same time, and I think, this is the part, a lot of it just felt so familiar.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
I think we saw the same movie.
I love The Dark Knight. You love The Dark Knight. But I don't think either of us love The Dark Knight as much as Matt Reeves loves The Dark Knight.
Or another movie that I'm not going to mention because I think it might. I mean, I think some people kind of saw it coming, at least as far as like the directorial similarities. But I'm not dropping the name because I think it's too much information going into the film beforehand. Mm-hmm. When we cross the spoiler wall, I'm going to say it, and like 95% of you are going to be nodding your head straight up and down going, yep, he's right.
Yeah.
I'll tell you when we get off the recording. But
yeah.
I'm sure you already know, but anyway.
I'm sure I have a hunch. I'll be interested to see if I'm thinking what you're thinking. But that was what I thought held me back the most, is there were too many familiar beats that I have seen in other films done better. And
I fully agree.
And that's why I was like, oh, I want to love it, but I can't love it. But I still like it. I'm happy to go see it again. I will go see it again. I look forward to seeing it again. And I hope that whenever there's a big movie that I'm super excited for, that I'm a little let down by, I always hope that I will like it more on subsequent viewings. So I hope that is the case. I'm going to try and go again. Here's the thing, though, is I don't think I'll get there this weekend because my mother comes into town to meet the baby. She comes into town tomorrow, which is why we're doing this in the middle of the night. And so I'd feel like a real shit son to be like, thanks for coming to meet my daughter, but I'm going to go see Batman. Because I'm already going to have to go, thanks for coming to meet my daughter. I'm going to go into the office and record a podcast with Jamie and Brendan. But that feels less egregious because at least I'll be in the same house.
I was going to say, you're still in the same confines there. So.
But yeah, so I think that sometime next week, I will probably try and find time to go see it again because I do look forward to seeing it again. Again, I was certainly involved and I certainly wanted to see where everything went. I agree with you. What you said about Colin Farrell is fantastic in this, and he's in a good chunk of it, but I would have taken even more. He's just, I think he is having the most fun of everyone in this movie.
Unquestionably.
I think that Zoe Kravitz is wonderful. She is fantastic, and I hope we see more of her in future films because I think she is great as Selina. But again, I think everyone's great in this. It is no cast member's fault. Some of my misgivings about the film. They're all bringing their A game. They're all doing great work. I like that it's a little scary. I think that worked for me. Again, so where I land is there are a lot of moments that I loved. There are a lot of elements that I really liked, but in the end, I felt like it's less than the sum of its parts. But it's still a pretty good Batman movie. And again, we live in the internet where something has to be the best thing ever or the worst thing ever. And so maybe for me saying it's pretty good is going to make some people mad, which is why I was even nervous to do this, because I'm going, yeah, it's pretty good. There are things that are great. There are things that are not great. And there's some stuff that's in between. But I have to just be honest. I'm not going to lie. And that's where I land. Based on Twitter and other fans, we might be alone here, Jamie. I'm seeing it. It's the best Batman movie ever made. That's what I'm seeing people say.
Hey, if people think this is the greatest Batman movie ever made, more power to them. I'll tell you this much. I will gladly take more in this world to see where it goes from here. Happily.
Agreed. Agreed.
No misgivings about it. No apprehensions about it whatsoever. I will gladly go on this ride for as long as it lasts.
No, I completely agree with that. And I even said that to Hunter and Raina and Catherine. I go, I am very interested in the sequel. I really want to see what comes next, which is a good sign that I liked this enough that I want to see what comes next. And I do think there's a lot of places they can go as it continues. Because I think I theorized this when we started seeing the trailers and everything, is this feels like the prequel to the movie I'm waiting to see.
Okay. Yeah. So at that certain point, I'm not going to say I checked out of the film because I was never not interested in what was going on. But as I told you guys in our chat, the one tidbit I give you is I felt Justice League's 4-hour runtime less than I feel this movie's 3-hour runtime. So I do think, and I don't even know if saying that it drags in parts is exactly the right word for it. I just think it shifts a little bit too hard and it takes too long to come back around for me. But I will give you this much. For anybody who has seen the film, this isn't really a spoiler, but I will just say this. From the time that flare ignites on is near perfection.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny. I hear you, and I agree. Like I said, I was never bored with it. I never was. And it was one of those movies where I was like, I knew, we knew going in it was going to be 3 hours long. And I never was like, oh my God, wrap it up. I never felt that way.
My butt did, but only because that theater's chairs are very uncomfortable.
Okay.
But that's not the movie's fault. So,
but butts are funny. And it was one of those where as it was going where I was like, like we could be near the end or we could not. I have no idea. So there's something to be said for that where I was like, I don't know how long it's been. I really couldn't tell you. But what's interesting, and I do wonder if this is what you're getting at, is the movie feels like for most of its runtime, it's just sort of cruising along at 40 miles per hour. Like it doesn't really ramp up. And so it just feels like it's in the same gear through most of it. And I think that maybe that might be what you're getting at of you're like, it's not boring, but I also feel like I'm feeling the runtime.
Well, okay. So my major things, and I had, I had dinner with Drew Keese before the movie because he lives here locally, and we were both going to the same showing. So we're like, hey, let's grab a sandwich beforehand. And I was telling him my thing with movies, and a lot of you have heard me say this before. First and foremost is the entertainment value, and then it's the character work, and then it's the story, and then it's pretty much everything else after that. The rest of it's, its own thing. But those three things are the most important for me. And this movie had entertainment value, and it had good character work, and it had a good story. The problem is I'm not sure it ever had any of those three happening at the same time for me. And I don't know if that makes a lick of sense to anybody but me as I say it out loud, but I don't ever feel like those three things ever got on the same page at the same time for me during that whole 3 hours. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot of compelling stuff. And I didn't mind the pace. The pace is not the issue with the film. I was involved. I was like, you have your line about the Dark Knight. You paid for the whole seat, but you only needed the edge of it. For the first third of the movie, that was me. I was like, oh, wow. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. And then all of a sudden I'm just like, oh, okay. Not as much. Not sure about that choice there. But, and then it would just kind of, I don't want to say it was roller coastery, but like, you catch a small wake when you're out on a lake on a boat and you just kind of go up and down slowly, nothing real violent shaking or anything.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I felt in that middle to late portion of the film.
Mm-hmm. No, and I think that's sort of what I'm getting at is like, it's moving, but like there doesn't seem to be like this escalation in tension as it goes, the way I think.
Well, to be fair, it does kind of come out of the gates pretty tense. So
yeah, so yeah, and I guess I think the action is fine. It's not bad, but it's a little disappointing.
I think it's good. I don't think it's the best we've seen.
No. So, and well, I'll save it. Never mind. I won't say anything. So
I'll throw the listeners this bone. Seeing the Batmobile in action does absolutely nothing to change my opinion about the Batmobile.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm with you on that. So, yeah, and again, and like you said, like for everybody who like are loving it, who thinks it's perfect, great, that's awesome. I'm happy for you. And I didn't see that movie. I wanted to. And at first, again, as it started, I thought that's where I was going, but it just didn't quite come together for me the way it seems like it's come together for so many other people. So for everybody who loves it, awesome, more power to you. Love it. Go see it 1,000 times. I am happy for you. But for me, again, it's more of a mixed bag where I just came out going, yeah, I liked it, with sort of a measured enthusiasm.
Sure. And I wish this movie all the success in the world, and I hope people that do love it do see it that many times and gives it the legs that it needs to be that huge success that a lot of us anticipated it was going to be anyway, just because of if nothing else, a Batman movie usually draws a pretty big crowd because even the disappointing Batman movies tend to do pretty well, if you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. But as we've said before, I'm very interested to see the next step of this story or this arc or what have you. And I'm certainly interested in seeing where it winds up as a trilogy all said and done, if they do indeed do it as a trilogy.
Yeah. Yep, I agree with that too. I really am, looking forward to see what comes next. As it is, I think it's pretty good. Happy to watch it again. But yeah, I'm just not over the moon on it, and to the point where I almost didn't want to record this because I was like, if I can't say it's the best thing ever, I feel like I've already lost.
Hey, we're not doing anybody any favors by not telling them the truth about what we think, and people apparently care about what we think because thousands of people listen to this show. So
yeah,
whatever. I was going to say something. I think I might have made a comment recently just because I was kind of bitter and petty at that point. that I was sick of superhero movies that didn't want to actually be superhero movies. This one, aesthetically, I still am kind of sticking to my guns with that. However, the fact that they drop as many familiar names of various things in the DC universe, or at least the Batman portion of the DC universe throughout the film, did do my heart some good. So I was glad to see that they at least embraced it in that aspect.
Yeah. Oh, totally. Like it is obvious that like Matt Reeves did his homework as far as like reading a lot of classic Batman stories, and I liked how he did pick some of those elements and wove them into the story. That's also things that I really loved, where there were things that happened and came up where I went, oh, I see what you're doing here. That's very cool. I like that, like, and that was nice. It nods to the source material, nods to the comics that I didn't expect, but they were nice surprises. I agree with that.
He did pull one particular story, very particular story, out for one of the side arcs or indirect arcs, if you will, that I feel was 100% completely unnecessary.
Okay. I have a hunch I know what it is, but we'll see. We'll see when we speak more freely.
Okay.
But I think I know where you're going with that.
You may.
Yeah.
Because I just happened to mention it to somebody that was sitting next to me. You know how it is. You go to a theater, you're sitting next to geeks. Geeks have a tendency of being fairly social with each other. I'm usually the exception, but if somebody starts talking to me, I'm not kind of a butthead that says F off and leave me alone. I'll engage in that much conversation, and we got to talking about a few things here and there, and it was interesting.
Oh, all right. Cool. Well, I think there's not much more we can say without getting into details, and I see we're already dancing around those details, so we will talk about them freely, probably this weekend. My only regret is that, like, we're going to do the full review, and I'm still going to be doing it only on one viewing, but oh well, what can you do? I'll do my best, and you guys will have to forgive me, but like any Batman movie, we're going to talk about it for years to come, so it's all good. It's fine. But so yeah, we'll wrap it up for now. It's late. I hope that everybody out there, y'all had fun tonight at the fan screenings. Hope you enjoyed the movie. Hope you enjoyed it more than we did. And I hope you guys forgive us for not enjoying it as much as you did. But anyway, what I have learned about especially our feelings about this film as we've gone is there are more of us than you think, but everyone's just afraid to say anything because they get jumped on. And so I get these very quiet private messages of like, yeah, I'm with you guys. I just ain't going to say it out loud. So at least
I got quite a few of those when we were having our discussion about what we thought of trailers and such. So
yeah,
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. So, but we strive to be a place where all opinions do count. So if you love it, if you hate it, or if you land somewhere in between, we still love you, and that's okay. All that is good, and hopefully you guys can show us the same respect in return. But we'll be talking about it. We'll be diving deep. I'm gonna wrap it up, and then I'm gonna drop in whatever Brendan sends. No idea what he's gonna say. Here's my hunch, though. Let's make a prediction. My hunch is he's going to like it the most of the three of us. That's my hunch.
I think you're right.
Yes.
I think you're right.
We were driving back, and Catherine even asked, what did Jamie and Brendan think? I go, they haven't told me yet. And I go, but here's my guess. Brendan will like it the most, then me, then Jamie. But it sounds like maybe you and I are more tied. I expected you to like it less than me.
I really feel like we saw the same movie. That's really why I wanted to go first. I figured you would like it a lot more than me, and I figured I'd at least get the negative portion of the show out of the way first so that we could end on a positive. And instead, we're just kind of sitting there on that slow-moving wake that I mentioned.
Yeah.
So.
Nope, I appreciate that.
You did mention something about the score, and you're dead right, because I haven't listened to anything but that score for the last 2 days, and it is superb. Yeah. I will definitely give it that much credit.
Yeah, it's awesome. I'm super happy with it. And again, I hadn't listened to it. I'd only listened to the 3 tracks they released in advance. But now that I've seen the movie, I can just listen to the Batman score whenever I want. So yeah, big shout out to Michael Giacchino. I always add an extra syllable in there. Giacchino.
It's Italian, so there's 7 ways to pronounce it anyway.
Yeah. But shout out to him for really a fantastic score.
Absolutely. There is a track It's the last track on the score, at least as far as the iTunes list is concerned, because I use Apple Music to listen to all my stuff now. And I think it's called Sonata and Darkness. And I don't think it's anywhere in the film, and if it is, it's just blended pieces. But it's about a 9-minute song, and it's absolutely beautiful. I'm very curious to hear your thoughts on that tune.
I bet you that's like the sweet track.
Yes, I think that's accurate.
Because it's the last track on the album. So my guess is, and he usually does that, like on his Spider-Man scores, he'd have a Spider-Man suite at the end. So my guess is this is essentially his Batman suite, but he likes punny titles, and so he went with Sonata and Darkness.
Yeah, it's a fantastic song, though. I've actually listened to that song more than I've listened to the rest of the score at this point.
Nice.
Because I like it that much.
All right. Cool. Well, I mean, this went longer than I expected. Half an hour. Half an hour without saying much. It's not that bad. Pretty impressive.
We come from podcast roots where we turn a 2.5-minute trailer into a 90-minute discussion. So this doesn't surprise me.
This is correct. and with dancing around details. So anyway, let's wrap it up. And then again, at the end, I'm going to drop Brendan's reaction. And me and Jamie are as in the dark as all you guys out there. So we're going to hear it pretty much when you guys hear it. So that will be interesting. But let's wrap it up. Jamie, thanks for staying up late. Appreciate it.
Well, the truth is I pushed you to make sure that it happened tonight because I drank a Red Bull before I went to the movie and it hasn't worn off yet. So I needed something to do.
Well, and it's fine with me because I'm staying up late with the newborn anyway. So what the hell do I care? Time has no meaning.
No sleep with a newborn?
Yeah. It's real fun. It's my favorite part. Although she's a great baby and she's getting better like every day. So, I hope that trajectory continues.
But just always look at it from the positive aspect. Even though you're up and spending all that time without sleep or anything else, that just means you're spending more time with that kid. And she'll be in college before you know it. Because my daughters have started getting in the mail, get this, college applications and visit requests and all that other stuff from all over the friggin' country. I am not ready for this.
Yeah. No, it's true. You're right. 10 years from now, all I remember is holding her beautiful little face in the middle of the night and not about being tired.
Exactly.
Oh my God. And she is the most beautiful thing in the world. Like I know it's a cliche. It's a cliche but it's true. It's like, oh my God, her face. I can't handle it. It's so damn pretty.
She's absolutely adorable. And she has a magnificent wardrobe, I might add.
Oh, thank you. We're very proud of it. We joked, my sisters were going, oh, are you calling her Harley? Or are you calling her Harlan? And we're like, well, mostly we're calling her Sweetie and Pumpkin Pie and Why You So Pretty. That's what I keep calling her. Why You So Pretty? And so we decided that's what we're going to change her name to. It's going to be Why You So Pretty DeGenova.
Right on.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks, Jamie. They can't find you on social media, so just stay tuned to the show. And in a few short days, we're going to dive deep into the Batman. And that will be something. So something to look forward to, guys. Stay tuned for that. Thank you for joining us for this quick little reaction to the fan screening of the Batman. I think we were pretty good spoiler free. I hope so. Hope you guys are good with that. Please do subscribe or follow this show wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. Please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts. Visit holybatcast.com. Find Holy BatCast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or YouTube. If you've got something for the Wayne Manor mailbox, which one of these days we'll get around to reading, you'll send that to holybatcast@rf4rm.com. Our theme music was done by the very talented Gaurav Venkateswar. His music and work can be found at gvtunes.com. And as always, check out our sponsor, manscaped.com. Use the promo code BATSCAPED, please and thank you. But that'll do it. Stay tuned after this, again, to hear Brendan's thoughts. But that's it for me and Jamie. Thanks for joining us. On behalf of me and Jamie and Brendan from Australia, stay safe, my friend. We'll see you very soon. Same bat time, same bat channel. Holy BatCast is not affiliated with Warner Brothers or DC Entertainment. The views and opinions shared by the participants are theirs and theirs alone and do not represent the companies or organizations they happen to work for.
Hey Holy BatCast, it is Brendan here and I have just gotten out of my screening of the Batman. Wow. that's a hell of a lot to take in. Actually, sorry if I'm speaking quietly. I'm not at my house, and also my son is asleep, so just bear with me. But yeah, that's a lot to take in, a lot to dissect. I definitely need to see it again, which I am doing on Saturday. I don't even know where to start. Pattinson was really, really good. Still don't like the costume, but it has grown on me. But he was very, very good, which I'm very happy about. Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman was really good. Potentially, well, actually not potentially. I think very much the most comic accurate version of Selena Kyle Catwoman we've got on the big screen. Paul Dano's Riddler was really creepy and scary. Again, I mean, everyone knows I don't like the aesthetic. That my opinion on that hasn't changed, but I did prefer him unmasked. I think the characterization of the Riddler and Edward was very, very good. And I mean, Colin Farrell as the Penguin was fantastic every time he was on screen. Falcone was amazing. The cast were all round really, really great. The score was good. I mean, there's a few little nitpicks there. I do think it felt long. I mean, it is long and it felt long. But in saying that, I was never bored. I was never looking at my watch and wanting it to end. But it is a long sit. So, be prepared for that, obviously. But yeah, I mean, initial thoughts are I need to see it again, which I think will be good because I know what I'm getting now. So I can just sit there, not be in my own head, and just take it all in. So that's where I'm at for now. I'll get back to you on our review episode, and we'll talk, the three of us, in depth, and I'm really looking forward to it. So I'll talk to you guys then. See ya.